Greetings, friends. Welcome to One on One with Jack. And special guest is with Madeline Adams. Thank you for saying yes. I'm so excited you came to join today. And do you have anything you'd like to share with the audience before I introduce you?
Well, I perhaps wanted to let them know this is actually my very first podcast. So it's going to be interesting for me. And I hope it's going to be of some real interest to you too. So we'll see what happens.
I'm so excited. That's brilliant. Well, thank you for sharing that. I love it. And so Madeline Adams is an intuitive Aquarian, creatress, sorry. Both similar but yet different meanings. And is the author of the Soul Star series. She writes about the feminine intelligence, creating the sacredness, creativity, and the sacredness, and the personal soul consciousness from a feminine perspective, capturing the cosmos truth and the innate wisdom in words that she hopes will resonate with the truth in hearts. And her visions is to inspire others to walk into their path that leads them on a journey into their darkness to find their inner gold. I love it. And also you believe that the value of our true nature is knowing that creates the intimate relation with the authentic self and inspires us to experience the creativity and joy and awakening the soul star essence and empowering us to bring balance and healing to ourselves and our world. And also too, you have many books. So if people want to learn more about this, they can also connect with you and read more about living in the guidance of the creatress within, as well as the creatrix within. Because I remember that was one of my first experiences where I was like, wow, there's more happening here. And also too, you do have a new book being released soon enough. So we'll make sure we share all of those links with everyone so you can get connected with Madeline after the live stream. So I want to say thank you again for coming live and enjoying this wonderful conversation. And was there anything I missed out? Because I feel like there's so much more to explain because you're just like.
Exactly. It's a really big subject, actually. and to know what to bring into this talk is a challenge because there is so much. But I just want to thank you for your invitation because this is wonderful because I know that when I'm talking about these it's perhaps a philosophy of the feminine that's rising up, that's a kind of a new energy that's taking hold, that I see expressed around me in the world. It's just so powerful that it's hard to know how to put it into words that are meaningful in a very simple way. And I find that's one of my major challenges in writing my books is to find simple language to describe things that are quite large, quite and perhaps indescribable even.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because when we get to the idea of the creatrix, the interesting thing is that when I started writing my first book about 5 years ago, I wanted to call it The Creatrix Within. And I really, that was the name of the book. It came to me and I just wanted to make it happen. But for some reason, I wasn't allowed to write that book. I had to write 4 other little books and learn and grow through the experience of the writing of them before I was ready to write this next book.
I'm so excited.
And I just feel that this next book is taking a macro view of the feminine, that, is stepping outside of what we perceive and know and accept and believe. We've been programmed to consider the feminine in a certain way. And to step outside of that into a larger perspective is quite empowering.
Indeed.
Because, so that's that's where I'm at now. I'm writing this 5th book, and for me, the feminine, the feminine is symbolized by the pentacle. So that's a 5-pointed star.
Beautiful.
And she's the pattern that is made by the transit of Venus. It's an 8-year cycle, and it makes a perfect pentacle shape. And I've just got very, very interested in Venus star astrology. And it's making so much sense to me, but that's something, again, that's for next year.
We can always come back to it as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of tunes to our topic today, is illuminate the power of the creatrix within you, right? Because we all have this. So with your books, how did you get started? Because you've been on the 5th one. I can feel like this is changing sort of your own dynamics, right? Where you're like, what's next?
Yeah. Well, I'm also an astrologer. Did we mention that? I don't know. I've got a background in astrology. I've never wanted to be labeled astrologer. I didn't want to be put in that box, but it's informed my life. The wisdom of the intelligence of astrology is, and for me, that's a symbolic language of energy. So it's using symbols to explain energy. And we are all energy. And so my natal chart explains the potentiality of my energy body, that it's a multi-dimensional picture that shows the energy body of who you are as an individual, as a soul.
The light speed that we are.
And at this lifetime.
Yeah.
And now I got sidetracked there because I was talking about astrology and
the book, and how you were coming to it.
Yeah. Now, there are certain transits that happen in your life that are destined to be challenge points, perhaps turning points in your life. One's your first Saturn return, when you're meant to have sort of really matured into adulthood.
And that happens around, if they don't understand, about 29.
That happens about 28 to 30.
Right.
Around that time, you have your Saturn return. And it's a time when you stop and you reevaluate what you've done with your life, and you make decisions and you start taking more responsibility as an adult.
Of course.
And it's quite interesting how people's lives change. And then there's there's various transits like that can be predicted.
Right.
Some of them can't. But
within the natal charts.
And one of them is the Uranus opposition, which happens at 42.
Oh, that's fun. Is that why most people go through that sort of like emotional, like roller coaster?
The midlife crisis.
Yeah,
time.
that's what I was gonna yeah.
That's
it's
it.
like either you're gonna do what you love or you're not at all.
Yeah, you stop and you think, hang on, what have I been putting my energy into? Is this my path, or have I been climbing? This is the old story that you've been working hard and climbing the mountain, but you get to the top and then you look out and you think, oh, I've climbed the wrong mountain.
I always say beating the drum. Oh, it's not even my drum, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So what the reason I brought that up was that I a little before my Uranus return at 40, I suddenly decided I wanted to change my life path. I wasn't happy, and I gave up my work in the corporate field, and I decided to go on a world trip on my own to discover who I was and whatever. And that was at 40, and I went on a 5-month trip around the world on my own, and I was motivated because I just started learning astrology. And I went to England to learn to join all the wonderful psychological astrology schools and do the summer schools. Like in Oxford University, they have a week-long summer school for astrology and all this wonderful stuff. And I just immersed myself in that. And I had a month off, and it was July. And I decided to go and spend that month in the south of France.
Beautiful.
And I had experiences there, and I actually vividly remember in Arles waking up one morning and stepping outside the hotel into the little cobbled pathway and thinking, what shall I do next? And I was just being guided intuitively in every moment. And it was at that point that I really learned how to follow my intuition. I was in a whole new environment. I didn't know what was coming next, but I started to trust in it.
Yes.
And it served me so well.
Absolutely.
And then I came home, and then for years later, I did all sorts of trainings and things. And for years I was saying, oh, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. But then I never did.
Right. Something else would happen.
Yeah. And then one day, once I was in my 60s and I was coming up to retirement, to do retirement, I decided I've got no excuse now. It's time.
Right.
And I started writing my first book.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I thought it was about learning to follow your intuition. But as with all my books, they seem to morph into something bigger.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it became an awakening of this awareness that there is something far greater than my own little mind, body, consciousness, self.
Yep. A deeper awareness to the cosmos is within us.
Yeah. I mean, Jung talked, and in psychosynthesis too, they talk about the self with the small s, and then there's the self with the capital S.
Absolutely.
And that self is something that's really connected to the oneness.
The wholeness and the
wholeness. Yes, the wholeness, the oneness, so that was interesting. And then so the different books went on like that in the same way, where I started off writing about something and ended up writing about something else. And then the book I'm writing about now, I'm calling it the Creatrix within, because the Creatrix is a name I've given to the feminine principle that is within all of us.
Even the
Not
males.
just women, it's in the men too.
Everyone.
It's in all of us.
Even the animals.
Even the animals. Even
Everything.
And it's like that primary duality that arises from source. And I kind of think of source energy as that oneness place that we cannot know, because it's beyond. Well, we have glimpses of it.
Of course, because we get to know ourselves, that authentic, true version of who we are.
Because actually what I'm finding is you have source within you.
Yeah.
You are an expression of source.
In all fibers.
Exactly. Yeah. You are complete and whole in who you are.
Yes.
The problem is that we take on all the programming of who we're supposed to be.
Or the processing. It's like the cookies on
society.
The cookies on a computer. It's like, here, accept this, and then it's in the background playing. That's what society does. It plays in the background. It's like, well, you should be like this, and that's how this should be, and that's going to be like that. And it's like, no. You're a sovereign creatrix, creator.
Well, that's right. The creatrix is within you. Now, she to me, she's the feminine face of source.
Yes.
So we have a masculine face of source, and he's called the creator.
Right.
But then we have the feminine face that is equally as important and valuable.
Absolutely.
And she's called the creatrix.
Yes.
That's how I think I'm choosing to explain her.
Absolutely.
And so I'm still working on the full definition of who she is.
Yeah. It's everlasting.
It's but I have now, if I can find it here, where's my little, I was going to read you the little bit that I wrote.
Oh, please do.
It's a funny note. The folder with my book files seems to have just disappeared out of the ether. Oh no, it's down here on the ground here. I'll put it down here out of the way. If you don't mind,
please do.
I'll just see if I
Absolutely.
can read this to you. This is just a tentative draft
Of course.
description of the essence of what I'm speaking about when I'm talking about the Creatrix. The Creatrix is the creative intelligence of the cosmic great mother. She is the mother we long for, who with open arms welcomes all into her sacred space. She is the mother of all humanity, and she loves all her creations. She is love without boundaries. She sees through the eyes of the heart, and she sees into the depths of every soul. She is the cosmic heart, and she welcomes all, especially outsiders, the misunderstood, and all those who have been diminished or disregarded by society. She feels your pain, and she knows that which your soul is longing for. She is the lady of the night. She is the mystery of potentiality beneath all creations. She is the promise of magic and the wonder of the twinkling stars. She is the maker of source creations. Sorry, I couldn't read that. I changed a word.
That's okay.
So that's how I'm describing the cosmic creatress.
Yes.
The cosmic heart, you know, the
one
love on that higher vibration, that is not judgmental, and it's accepting of all.
Yeah.
Because she can see beneath the surface of each person and understand their pain, and also see the gifts of potentiality that lie beneath, that's hidden within them.
Every single one.
Yeah. And I have a name for that that gift of potentiality that's hidden within you. I call it your soul star.
Yeah, because it's within us and above us. It's a connectional bridge of our light. So then we can emulate it to be that anchoring point and 0 point of that love, that unconditional love.
It is. Exactly. It is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And it's like awakening the Creatrix.
Yeah.
She's not awakening. She's always been there.
Yeah, and always will be there.
And always will be there.
It's the fibers.
It's the awakening of knowingness within you, that you carry this energy within you.
And it illuminates, because the cosmoses are born within us, whether we acknowledge it or not. And the more of us that are acknowledging it, I find have that more conscious connection to the Creatrix or the Creator energies that they've naturally been designed to be. They've just been conditioned or processing themselves and diluting themselves because they feel that they're separated or disconnected from this God source energy. Yeah,
exactly. Yes. And I do make the distinction between, I see the Creator as the spirit force, and I see the Creatrix as the soul force.
Yeah, it's the unification.
Or we can call it an intelligence. And so they're two different things. I find make a real distinction between what is spiritual and what is soul.
And the difference I'm learning lately is we all have this within us. Regardless if we're in a female body, a male body, cat, dog, children especially, it's a unification of these, so then we can then amplify or magnify what it is, that the light that we're calling forth and the light that we're emanating, or being the immaculate conception of source energy. Because it's like bursting at our fibers, and it's like, whoa, right? And then it's go on. It's like a new plane of existence. It's like we've been in this reality our entire life, and we awaken to this new existential reality that has been here all along, because we're centered in our 0 point, understanding that we're not here to attack or to demise or violence. We are here to love each other unconditionally in every part and direction that is within us and all around us. And that's what I feel in this definition of the Creatrix, it really shows that you can see past the surface to the
Mhm.
core of your true natural essence.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
and and that's the thing, that we hide our greatest gifts often. And in fact, I believe sometimes that what your essential gift is, your core essence of who you are,
Mhm.
and the gift you have to give in this lifetime, is so innate in you that sometimes you're not even aware that it's a gift,
Yeah.
that you have that difference from other people. And so it's a remembering, a coming home to
Excuse me.
your inner self.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the things that bothers me about this modern world, we're moving faster and faster and into more and more connection, and uh, can tap into knowledge and experience, well, tap into information at a
Artificial.
on a, yeah, just as a flick of anything. We live in this kind of world of distraction in a way,
Mhm.
because to really connect into your soul essence, the soul star within you,
Mhm.
it requires that you slow yourself right down, you take time away, and you come very quiet, and you go within and you listen,
Every bit of it.
inner listening.
Mhm.
I've had a real longing for solitude, and it coincided with the COVID time, which was perfect for me in
I
some
think
ways.
the whole
Not
of
that I
humanity.
accept COVID as being perfect, it's not at all, but
Yeah.
it provided me a cocoon environment to just go within even more.
The
And I'm
stillness.
finding, yeah, and to step out of the busyness of life.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people have that experience. And
Absolutely.
if you're living creatively, which the expression of the creatrix is for me being the creatress.
Yes.
And the creatress lives creatively in each moment.
The whole moment.
And she
Yes.
listens to intuition and she flows with
Yeah.
what is. It's like we didn't just talk about what are we going to talk about on our talk today, did we? No. And we're just going to
Yeah.
flow.
There was a
And
series
I'd
of
like you to
things.
stop me when I go on too much about
Well, that's
something,
what I've learned
perhaps.
is it's the natural flow of the cosmos is.
Yeah,
When anyone communicates, if it's with ourselves, if it's with others, if it's with our children, our partners, our family, our relations, every single point in direction is that conscious connection with you and your source. So however it's meant to go, it goes, right? Because we
mm,
can go into the
yeah,
deeper questions. And
yeah,
humanity, what I'm learning personally, it's like I find a very fine line. It's, are you going to choose the artificial intelligence and have everything drawn up instantly? Or are you going to
mhm,
tune into the creative intelligence and have that drawn up instantly?
exactly,
That's the
exactly.
difference.
Yes,
And
yes,
innately, we know that direction,
yeah,
all of us. It's whether or not we
absolutely.
ask for
And
it.
yeah, and I'm writing about feminine intelligence as
Mhm.
well, because that's a different kind of intelligence than the
Indeed.
masculine intelligence. So that'll be going into that in depth in my book. But there's another thing that seems important. Ah, do you know? I'm sorry. I'm going,
It's
going somewhere.
okay.
I've got to come back. Sorry.
All is well.
All is well. I think we have to value our intuition and our inner knowing and
Mhm,
our innate knowing in our bodies. It's in our bodies and it's in
mhm.
our emotional body, our
Yeah,
heart. Our heart
physical, mental.
resonates with our truth too.
Mhm.
When you awaken to a truth of yourself,
Yeah.
you have these aha moments and you think, oh my gosh, that's me. And
Yeah.
you start to own it,
Yes.
you're becoming more of your own real true self,
Yeah.
which
The
is like
authentic.
your authentic self.
Mhm.
and the my next book is going to be about the feminine intelligence of the feminine intelligence of la femme authentique, which is that in authentic self. And when you get in touch with that and you really start living in a trusting way of being guided by your inner knowing, it's a deep knowing that feels right in the core of your bones.
In every
feels
fiber,
right.
in every fiber.
So it's not just a little thought that pops in and out that
doesn't.
It resonates in you.
Yeah, it's its own resonance, because your body becomes the embodiment of it, and you become that resonance. So you can
because you start becoming a slightly higher vibrational frequency. And so this changes your energy body, your aura.
Everything.
And so you have this energy body around you that is vibrating with your inner truth, that
speeds of light,
your energy within you. And if you're coming from a place of love, and you've
especially
learned to have
unconditional,
just love with yourself and this relationship with your inner self, this trusting and knowing of your inner self, you'll find that your body feels lighter. And your aura is a different energy to it. And when people meet you, they feel it. Instantly. They feel that glow, that kind of different energy. And it's like, so it's not necessarily about the words that you're speaking. It's more about your presence.
All of it.
The quality of your presence.
Absolutely. Because as we shift within ourselves to that core essence of the creatress within us, or creatrix within us all, you get to calibrate more to that best version of who you are in the one. And it's not ever gonna.
Well, it's the idea of using the word best is kind of judgmental word, in a way, and we're beyond any judgments. And it's like, this is your authentic self. This is your soul star essence, And so, and you can't be anything other than that in reality. But often we're kind of blocked and restricted in our if you listen to your small mind repeating stories, you'll hear how you're judging yourself and how you're not valuing your truth and so on. So it's a matter of actually making a major choice in life where you step back and you say, when I hear myself say that to myself, I say, no, go away, or no, I'm not accepting that. So you're creating a psychic boundary for yourself.
Of course.
That honors your inner truth.
And your inner being, I find, becomes that new connection point within the core of that essence that we are, because it's the grandest thing ever. It's beyond.
And it's, to me, it's your soul's waking up.
And it's becoming consciously aware of what's truly happening.
Yes. And you can see it. The eyes become shiny.
The whole body
your
glows.
Eyes shine a lot. Your eyes shine a lot. And you kind of can be less attached to the outcome of everything. And say, just sorry, I do this. I was in the middle of something and then something else comes in, and sorry.
Part of living our authentic self. No need to ever apologize. All is well.
Oh dear. So I was saying about what was I saying?
You were talking about the connections between the soul star and within us.
And how you become much lighter and your whole energy vibration changes.
All of it.
But also what I found is that I wake up in the morning and I'm often channeling down things. I have to do a lot of writing the moment I wake up. I have a pad there and I write whatever comes to me. That's how I write my books. They just kind
Beautiful.
of come to me. But after that, and I, step into the world of my little world, there's often a joy inside of me. And there's no particular reason for that joy inside of me.
Yes.
It just is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking this and boiling the kettle, and I suddenly branch into song.
Yeah.
And I do not have a good singing voice.
Doesn't matter. It's your own
really
rhythm.
admit that. But I sing these songs at the top of my voice
Yeah.
to myself.
Yeah. And it sounds
And
like an angel.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I could say, oh, I better listen to what's the message of that song.
Yeah. What's it tuning me to? I love doing that. I'll just dance around, sing, dance, all of it. Because we're connecting to our own fields and our own connection.
Too.
Yeah.
Isn't dancing wonderful?
I love it. It gets me so excited.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking about languages.
Yes.
And for me, astrology is a very, very powerful symbolic language of energy.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't need, you do have to learn the language of astrology.
Yes.
Once you have it,
yeah,
you can speak this language, which is quite profound.
All the symbols.
Yeah. But it's more than just the symbols and how they interact, the relationships, and it's complex. It's very complex when you get right into it. But the thing is that, like, music is another language.
And light.
And you don't have to learn the language of music. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You can still listen to a piece of Chopin or Mozart and have it touch into your heart and resonate inside of you and spark an emotion.
Or a sensation.
Yeah.
Or a feeling.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, different musics resonate with different people.
Of course.
We have these different rhythms that we respond. And for me, Chopin and Mozart really do it.
Yeah.
That's my rhythm.
Yeah, it gets the brain going.
For other people, they want the soul stuff or the jazz or the rapping or whatever it is. Whatever it is. That, I suppose, is the form of their different language in some way. But then we have art. Now, for me, a creatrix is creating art in her life every day. She is her life is a work of art. Yeah,
it becomes its own painting or its own connection.
Yeah, and art also resonates with people without the need for learning the language.
Absolutely.
You look at the Mona Lisa. You go to the Louvre and there's this Mona Lisa. It's a little tiny painting on a very large blank wall.
Right.
But there's a mystery to her that draws people from all around the world.
And no one actually knows the true story, or they've been told stories. Only to believe.
We make up stories. And that's another
story
thing. Another story is that I do believe that we don't recognize the power of our imagination.
Right, and the connection it has to who we are as a being.
Yeah. And the potentials that lie within our creative imagination.
Well, I know the dreams I used to have.
Artists know that. Artists know that they link in and they go and they flow with their imagination. Absolutely. And children do it innately.
Playfully
until they're told not to.
Or are conditioned otherwise. Yeah. And I find adults too can come back to that intelligence and the creative
because imagination. I think, because awakening that inner child with you is also part of the healing of your soul.
Every time.
Because it's that wounded child part. Now, that's another story. We're going into another story. So maybe I should just bring it back that we were talking about the illumination.
Yeah.
within
the
you.
innate intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has it.
Yeah. And it's so simple in actual fact.
It is.
There's some I don't know, there's some ancient master who there was a conversation about where should we put this precious gift. And they said, well, I know, we'll hide it deep within the person and they'll never think of looking there for it.
And the
I
keys,
can't remember the quote, but a
yeah.
lot of people know that story. And it's true, I believe.
Absolutely. And we
that
all
it
have
is
the own
within
keys.
us.
The keys to
Yeah.
our kingdom
Yeah.
of heaven.
And any
that
real
core power.
change happens on the inside.
Always.
It's this shifting in perspective to who we are.
Absolutely.
And giving ourselves a bigger picture story.
Yeah.
That's informed by something that is bigger than us.
Source point that we are.
Mm.
Because I
And
find
so, yeah.
the soul star is where all of our lifetimes have been, not just this lifetime. Every single lifetime is based in there. If it's on this planet or any other planet, it's all connected to this particular now moment. And every now moment, it's like, okay, well, I want to learn more in that core part of who we are. I find it's if we're open to receive it, it will be an open dialogue and channel. If we're not, it won't. It will keep attempting to open us up to listen. Yet we have to instruct ourselves, say, okay, I'm ready. And then that will unfold for whoever wants to experience what it is that they're here to experience.
Yes, exactly. I'm listening. I've just picked up my little poetry book.
Oh, love it. It's one of my favorites.
You know that little book, don't you?
It's one of my little go-tos.
Yeah,
like what's my soul feeling today?
Okay. So I didn't know how we're going for time, but
if you want to share something, absolutely, please.
I was wondering if I should read something from that.
Yeah, absolutely. If that's where it's taking us, let's do it.
Yeah. So which one? I could read you know my poems, don't you? I think Child of the Universe, or perhaps The Sacredness of Life.
Anyone, whichever one your heart's saying.
That's my last page in the book. No, I'll read Child of the Universe. I think I've changed this poem a bit. I've rewritten it a bit and improved it slightly, but it still stands, I think. You are a child of the universe, a soul star of the night sky. So love yourself as you are, sacred creatrix of cosmic love. Become the unique soul star you were born to be, and shine your inner light, a golden glow for all to see. So listen deeply to hear the voice of your soul calling you. Trust in your inner wise soul and feel the warmth in your heart. Know the music in your heart and sing your songs of love. I can't read this, sorry. Learn to dance a sacred dance and let yourself flow with grace. You are a child of the universe, a singular expression of soul, a manifestation of source and vibrations of all that is. That's it.
Thank you. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
So that kind of sums up the essence of what we were talking about to some degree.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also too that there is no limitation, or what I've learned, like with my connection within my own, is it's limitless. Like, I'm trying to get out here. There's no limit to the omnipotency and the omnidirection that we are here to go. It's unlimited.
I think we're only limited by our own imaginations.
Yeah. Or the boxes we put ourselves in, if you even put yourself in one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For
True.
sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I just had a thought. I'd just read you a little bit of, I mean, this book is in draft form, but I have it here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just a little bit of how I've chosen as the introduction. Because it's like
Absolutely.
the introduction is supposed to set the scene, and it's the hardest part of a book to write.
Of course.
And I
It'll
often
probably
leave it till the very end because I don't know what the book's fully about until I've
right.
written it. But anyway, I have a tentative introduction, and it says, there is an intelligence alive within each of us, our souls knowing of who we are here to become. Your soul knows the truth of who you are as a singular expression of source, made manifest in your physical beingness at this time in history. It takes courage to become a femme authentique. Well, that's the topic of the book, so it's a new idea for you. Not the kind of courage that the warrior needs to go into battle, but the courage that comes from a willingness to venture deep within, to explore the inexplainable, invisible realms of your existence, and to trust the innate intelligence within you. Your essential authenticity carries a gentle power and deep knowing that awakens your soul wisdom and an illumined lightness of being that is both the truth and beauty of your true essence. As you awaken the Creatrix within, you begin a journey along an inner focused path that takes you into a deep connection with the intelligence of both personal and cosmic expressions of source.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how can we explain to humanity or anyone that's watching how they can tune to that authentic? What was the word you used again? The
La femme authentique.
femme
I'm a bit of a, I love
authentique.
French. I love the
Yes.
language, French language. So I use it.
I love it. Thank you.
Yes. So you were saying, how can people begin to awaken to
Humanity,
their soul star essence, really?
Yeah.
You know, it requires you to start learning to trust in yourself.
First and foremost.
To give yourself time to just be
at peace. That's what I'm learning lately.
And at peace.
Yeah.
And to relax into that being at peace.
In the stillness.
In yourself.
Yeah.
And it requires you to hold an enormous question mark over everything you tell yourself about who you are.
Yeah, or others.
Yeah, because most of it is lies.
Yeah, or BS. Or something we've been trained to say over and over and over again, so then it becomes a storyline and a repeating story. Meanwhile, that story is irrelevant.
Yeah. I do bring in new archetypes of feminine ways of being in my next book, and I also I don't so much go into the process of becoming a creatrix, because I'm going to write something about that next year, the art of creatrix living.
The Year of the Dragon.
This year's looking at that. This is about shifting your perspective
to a larger point, into the macro.
Becoming the eagle and looking down upon your life, or stepping out of your life and looking from a greater perspective, so you're not attached to these old beliefs, core beliefs that you carry that are basically lies and distortions.
Yeah.
Most often.
More often than not, absolutely.
More often than not. And I do think that we hide our truth even from ourselves, and we fear owning our power.
Right, because we've been told elsewhere for so long.
Becoming your soul star self is owning your own innate power.
Yeah, and not a distorted power, where it's your natural core essence of
Mm.
your power.
Mm.
And it's
Mm.
only you have access to this power. It's not
Mm.
something somebody can take from you, or
Nobody can get you there. Nobody
exactly.
can do it for you.
It has to be done on your countenance and your accord
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
your vibrational countenance.
It's a choice we make with ourselves,
Yeah.
that we promise to start acknowledging what feels right, what you truly value, what makes your heart sing. You
Mm.
know,
That beating to your
so
song, or singing to
only
the song.
you can go inside and discover that within
Yeah.
you and
Absolutely.
awaken that. So it can be a lonely path when you first step out,
Yeah. Because it's very
because you
narrow.
have to do it on your own.
It's a very
Yeah.
narrow path, and then it becomes more illuminated, and
And
others
then it
join you.
changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you become more open
Yeah.
and receptive.
Because once your aura changes, the energy body of your aura changes.
Always.
I mean, like a little example of everyday living is I'll go down to the village and go walk through the shopping street, and I'm not aware that I'm smiling,
Right.
but I must be. Ming Tong Gu, the Qigong master, talks about smiling from the inside.
Yeah.
And I must be doing that, because people are walking on the street and they start smiling at me. And I'm going, oh, I wasn't sort of saying hello to them or anything, it's just being me. And they're all doing this, smiling at me. And I think, oh, I must be smiling from within.
Yeah.
My aura is smiling. My aura.
I love when people are like, hello, and I'm like, how's it going? And I've never talked to them once, but you're just like on your path, sort of enjoying it. Yeah. And just
So
being present.
It's subtle. It's a subtle change. But when you do it, when you allow it, and you let yourself flow more, instead of trying to have things all fixed and defined and as it's supposed to be.
Right.
Getting things perfect is a sign that you're not on your path, that you're not in this, you're not on that path.
Absolutely.
Because it's not about perfection.
Because it's already perfect as it is. And as you grow and transform into it, it becomes that natural rhythm of you and your creatrix. It's not anyone else's. And it might be a little messy at times, yet it's as perfect as it's going to be, or it's going to be as pristine as it's going to be. I find the more
that's it. Yeah. Life can be messy at times.
Yeah.
We can't control that.
Of course, but we can control our reaction and the way we're perceiving it, and become more one with it. I love it.
Choose to put a different vibration into the world.
Yes.
Because the vibration that you're living from, if you're living in your heart, and that heart intelligence is a different vibration, and it creates a warmth and a glow and a lightness of being.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's the aim, that's the challenge, that's the new path, I believe.
Love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'll ask the audience if they have any questions, if they want to comment it down below. And if we don't have a chance to answer it now, we can always come back to it. And I just want to say thank you so much, Madeline, for coming on today and joining me. I'm so excited, and we'll make sure that everyone gets your links to connect with you, to get a copy of the book if they would like, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, or the next one, all of them. And do you have anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
Don't be afraid of owning your power.
Indeed.
I believe creativity is the core essence of the feminine within you.
Yes.
And it is an amazing power.
It is, and it's never stopping. Like it's ever flowing. I mean, like it's like as much as you're willing to let it in, it will
Yeah.
present itself.
Yeah. Well, you're the creatress.
Yeah.
You're an example of living as a creatress.
I love it. It gets me so excited because I'm like, ooh, I'll be like walking down the street excited over nothing. And I'm like, I'm excited. I don't even know why anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Or
Yeah.
the sunshine comes out and I'm like, hello, sunshine. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Or
And I even say, oh, this is lovely. It's raining outside, actually.
Yeah.
And it's a gentle, gentle rain. And I go, well, this is wonderful because it makes you just slow down and get cozy and do something that you might not have done on a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah.
So to me, there's gifts in everything.
All things. Absolutely.
You know, it's finding the gift hidden within.
Yeah. And there's so many that are revealed. It's not just one particular gift, because you being the embodiment or the example of that soul star can shine for others to then be the radiance they are. And really we can all shine together because there's no limit to this light.
No. And your little unique soul star is just as valuable. And oh, beautiful.
That's so wonderful. Well, I just want to say thank you once again, and thank you everyone who's tuned in, and we'll catch you up with you very soon. Okay, well, thank you so much too. I really appreciate having this time with you. It's been really lovely. Okay, thank you.